Yo, people, welcome back to DR Sports Transfer Show. I'm your host, do the most, and never coast. Matisse in the building. Now, listen, we got a lot to talk about today. Ronaldo, Pulisic, so we better get into it. And I can see your comments, and I'll be reading those out as well. Listen, I'm excited for this one, man. Ronaldo, the saga continues. This guy just constantly in the rumor mill all summer. And I think he's saving grace with this quote, but I'll read it out first, and I want to see what you guys think about it in the comments. Are Man United fans going to forgive him? Are you going to forgive him now with this quote? Is he defending himself? Are you believing it? Are you buying it? I'm not sure. He says, the media is telling lies. I have a notebook, and in the last few months of the 100 news stories they made, only 5 were correct. Now, for me personally, like I said, I feel like he's potentially trying to save face. I think his agent may have said, listen, you need to put something out. We're not going to be able to get a move for you. You may have wanted to join a Champions League level team, but we're not going to be able to get you out of here. No one's really interested. We can't make the move happen. So you're going to have to try and, make things sweet. Is it going to work? Listen, Man United fans, you'll be able to tell me, are you buying it? Are you not? There is still maybe a potential for him to go, because there's reports saying that Ten Hag is almost losing patience with the situation, is actually just wants players that are on board, and he's almost accepting that he's willing to let him go. But again, like I keep saying, you have to have interest. You have to have players that actually want to, clubs that actually want to sign you. There was a little murmur of Atletico Madrid in some reports, maybe a swap deal with Morata. I saw Morata links to Manchester United. Would you take Morata? Ronaldo goes there, but listen, apparently Simeone wants to keep Morata and Morata wants to stay there. So at the moment, a lot of players that Man United are going for are rejecting them outright before even a bid comes in. They're saying flat out, no, I don't want to join. I don't want to move here. We've seen it with De Jong. We're going to see it with another target that we're going to talk about in just a moment. And potentially we're seeing it with this situation. Atletico Madrid are one of the few clubs that were linked with Ronaldo, and you could say, that could happen. We've seen Atletico Madrid sign aging strikers before, Suarez, etc. So it wasn't off the table completely. But listen, like I said, it seems very unlikely. I still think he's going to stay. You let me know what you think, but he's come out with a statement of somewhat, and I'm not sure how. Let's check some of the comments. Yeah, I can see you guys talking about Pulisic down there as well. We'll get into that in just a minute. But yeah, I mean, Ronaldo, at this point, I think really I think Man United should keep him, and I think he should stay, because some of the targets that I'm seeing Manchester United going for in the attacking areas like Arnautovic, etc., and we're going to get onto another one, Pulisic, like you mentioned, they're not needle movers. And if you give Ronaldo the service, again, like I said, I think he does take away from certain other elements of the team or what you're trying to do. But if you give him the service, he's a brilliant finisher. So right now, Man United, for me, will not get top 4, in my opinion, unless they have an incredible end to the window, which it doesn't look like they will. So you don't really have anything to lose. You're probably not going to get top 4 anyway. So you may as well just ride this out. You know what I mean? Just ride it out. As long as he's on board, I still believe he'll remain very professional. I don't think Ronaldo has had any issues with professionalism before, not to get to the level that he's at, especially with a World Cup. He's got to still try and play at his peak, but he's definitely frustrated being at Man United right now. I'm not buying the statement, especially when your team loses the way it did at the weekend. How could Ronaldo even possibly want to be around that? So yeah, he's not used to it, but it's a humbling experience for everybody. It's not for everyone. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. But listen, let's move on to Pulisic as well. Pulisic, apparently, the Athletic are putting it out there that there could be a loan deal to Manchester United from Chelsea. Now, does this even make sense? Let's start with that. Pulisic at Chelsea, he's had his issues with consistency, which is really relating to injuries over the course of his Chelsea career. He's had problems for sure in that regard. He's a player that has talent for sure. I believe he has talent, but like I said, every day I wake up out of my bed, my patience dwindles, and my hope that he will make it into a top player at this club, Chelsea, really does fall constantly, because I just don't see a way back for him, and hence why you're seeing these links. He wants to play regularly. He's got a World Cup to look at in Qatar for the US, so he wants regular minutes, hence this link. Now, for me, this player, he's got some attributes to his game that you love. You love when he's at his best. He's a very good dribbler, although we haven't really seen that in the past year. He loves crashing the box. He was showing that he could get goals. His awareness, his vision could be better. He's not someone that's looking to, have an expansive passing range, switch play, cross the ball, things like that. he definitely wants to cut inside. He's not an out-and-out, winger for me at times. And for me, he's always best off the left. I think on the right, he's really limited. He's much more limited on the right. He's better off the left. Does that fit into what Manchester United are trying to do? For me, the move doesn't really make sense. It does look a bit odd. I think Man United right now are panicking. They're starting to go from target to target to target, not really having a clear plan or identity of what they're trying to do. They had a clear plan and identity when you were linked with all those Ajax players. It was simple to some, but you could say at least it's a Ten Hag link. Now we're seeing, Rabiot and Arnautovic and Pulisic, and I'm confused. I'm very, very confused about what the plan here is. Are we just trying to get players in because we don't really have a strategy? We just need players in. We can see the performances are dropping off. We're starting to just go and see who's available, because that's what this is. Is Pulisic a target from the beginning of the window? Absolutely not for Manchester United. They're seeing an opportunity where he's available and they're seeing what they can do. But do I think this will happen on a loan deal? Absolutely not. There's no way in God's name will this happen on a loan deal. It just won't happen. There's nothing for Chelsea to gain out of this situation, sending him out to a rival on loan for a season. It doesn't make any sense. If Manchester United want Pulisic or Ziyech for that matter, they have to pay. They have to pay. And that's just not what I want as a fan. That's just what I believe as Chelsea's hierarchy. I just don't believe that they'll loan out a player to Manchester United. Chelsea and Manchester United have done business before. We've seen big six clubs definitely do business before. We've seen Matic go to Man United from Chelsea. Juan Mata. But those were all for money. And I don't see why they would loan him out. It just doesn't make any sense. The player doesn't need a loan. He definitely needs to either prove himself or permanently go. I think he'll probably see that as well. But it'll be interesting to see how this transpires. And maybe Newcastle are also involved as well. They've had interest in Pulisic. So maybe there could be a bidding war, but I don't know what the player really commands at this point in terms of valuation. He's got 2 years left in his contract. Contract runs out in 2024. What kind of fee would you guys be willing to pay if you wanted Pulisic at your club? I don't know. I think you're looking at 40 max. And that's probably maybe even being a bit generous. But he's still young. He still has potential. Let's check out some of the comments. I think he's going to Newcastle. Someone says here, Newcastle needs a centre forward besides Callum Wilson. I agree, for sure, because he does have injuries. I think Pulisic is choosing the wrong United. Newcastle United, anyone, question mark. There has been links to Newcastle. We know Newcastle are looking for another winger. They've been linked with Pulisic. They've been linked with Harvey Barnes. They've been linked with Callum Hudson-Odoi. They've been linked with quite a few players. Even Conor Gallagher, I'm seeing links as well. So quite a few Chelsea players that they're interested in. And I would say that Chelsea right now have a lot of players on their hands, and they'll probably look to move on quite a few later on in the window. So there could be some opportunities for clubs to take some of Chelsea's players, I believe. Pulisic swap for Maguire, somebody says. Absolutely no chance. That's just not going to happen. Maybe a Pulisic swap for Sancho. I don't know. Sancho's not really having the best of times. I remember when he was at Dortmund, I really wanted him to join Chelsea. I don't know if I would still desperately want him. Definitely not desperately, but both players haven't worked out. This sounds like a Mkhitaryan to Alexis Sanchez in a way, right? You just do a swap deal and just see if it transpires better for another team. That could be a conversation. I don't know. But to be fair, let's be real. That's not going to happen either. He signed for 100 million, Sancho. There's no way Man United would give up on him after a season. Someone's saying, don't try it. Now you want Sancho. I wanted Sancho before he went to Man United. I wanted Sancho when he was at Dortmund. The winter before we signed Ziyech. So we signed Ziyech in January before, I think just before Lampard. I was begging for Sancho, begging. But yeah, we couldn't get it done. That was in Lampard's first season, just after the transfer ban. I was begging for Sancho, and we got Ziyech instead. So I've always liked Sancho, but Sancho even needs to step up. I feel that. And we're not going to go on this tangent for too long, but I feel like he's a player that, again, he's worth a lot of money. Is he surrounded by the best players that get the best out of him? I don't know, but I think you got to give him time. You definitely got to give him a bit more time. Pulisic is the LeBron James of soccer. I knew that comment would come. We're going to move on. Let's go to Fofana as well. He's agreed personal terms with Chelsea from Leicester. The two clubs have still not settled on a fee, which is no surprise because we know Leicester's asking fee is really high, something around about the 80 million mark. Chelsea are trying to pay less than the world record fee for a defender, which I think still stands at Harry Maguire, and they're trying to get it below that. They don't want to break the record transfer fee for a centre-back. So that's where the difference is in terms of asking price. And until then, we have to keep going back and forth between the two clubs. I think Leicester are kind of resound to the fact that this will probably happen now. I think they know that will happen, that deal. But again, they're trying to squeeze as much money out of it as possible. Let's take a look at this comment here. Matisse, do you think all of Pulisic, Gallagher, Ziyech, Hudson-Odoi will leave Chelsea, sold or on loan by the end of the transfer window? I don't think all of them, no. I don't think all of them. I think that would be far too much. I think at max, you might see 2. But then again, that all depends on incomings. We know Chelsea are linked with Aubameyang. We know Chelsea are linked with Anthony Gordon. Even Wilfried Zaha, there's been some very small links. So it all depends on how many can come in. Chelsea will not allow all of those players to go at once and without any incomings. It will be 1 in, 1 out, 1 in, 1 out. And it will work like that for the rest of the window, I think. So we'll see. But I definitely think you will see 1 go out of those 3. But I don't, to be honest, realistically, more than 1 is probably unrealistic right now. Because there's no links with Ziyech and Pulisic. These offers are not substantial. So yeah, but we shall see. We shall see. That was from a member. Big up for supporting the channel. Now, like I was saying with Fofana, yeah, there's a difference on price, so we'll just have to see how that materializes. But I think that will probably get done. I think it will. Fofana's desperate to go to Chelsea, it seems. And Leicester, I think probably Leicester could do with the money. You know, they need a little bit of a revamp in terms of their squad. They've had some big injuries over the past year as well. Some players that maybe need to be replaced or given competition to. So I wouldn't be surprised. For me, 80 million is a lot of money to be rejecting for Fofana if that's the bid that comes in. As we were speaking on Newcastle, they have expressed interest in signing 3 Chelsea players, like I mentioned before, Hudson-Odoi, Conor Gallagher, and Christian Pulisic. And there were also even links with Broja as well, another Chelsea player where let's see how big he is a part of the plan this season. Now, they can only take 1 player on loan from the club. That's the rule. You can only take 1 from a club in the same league as you. And there are financial restrictions on permanent signings that can be made. That's from the Telegraph. I didn't realize Newcastle were already having those restrictions, but maybe that would allude to why they're taking things so cautiously in this window and why they're not just absolutely throwing money at anybody and anyone. So yeah, that would make sense. Now, we were speaking about Atletico Madrid. According to the Times, Atletico Madrid would be willing to offer Manchester United Griezmann or Morata in a swap deal for Ronaldo. However, to build from this, Diego Simeone says he wants Manchester United target Morata to continue at the club after he scored twice in the La Liga opener. Would you take Griezmann, Manchester United fans? This is what we're doing right now. We're just offering players. And do you want him? Do you want him? Do you not? It's literally, that's what it's become. As we get later on in the window, the targets always start to dwindle. They get worse and worse. They get more and more high risk, and not really high reward. Like, I don't really think you're going to get a world-class level from a lot of the names we're mentioning right now, at least not in their first season. So it really is high risk, low reward right now. To be honest, with a lot of these targets, especially with the wages they're on high wages. So Morata also said he's happy at Atletico Madrid and wants to continue working there, casting further doubt on his willingness to move to Manchester United. They were also linked with Casemiro, which I want to talk about as well. He was a target apparently for Manchester United as an alternative to De Jong. That was reported by Marca. But again, according to Real Madrid sources, Casemiro is not interested in moving to Manchester United, and the La Liga club have not received an offer yet. And again, dangerous to put in an offer for a player if you haven't already agreed that he would actually have interest in joining you. So, but that was an alternative reported. And I think David Ornstein was on that report as well. That Manchester United were looking at Casemiro as an alternative. So it's not easy in these streets. Let's take a look at the poll. Best case for the club: Ronaldo leaves, 66%. Ronaldo stays, 33%. That's the poll that's currently being run. So get your votes in on that. This super chat here says, nice to see you back on YouTube live stream. Yeah, big up. Obviously, I never live stream on my own channel, so it's good to be able to come on here and do that and communicate with you guys. Knowing Edwards is ruled out for DOF, what is your opinion on Ralph Rangnick instead of Paul Mitchell? To be honest, Ralph Rangnick, he has, I guess you could say that that isn't the worst idea because of obviously the Thomas Tuchel connection. They're both German. They both have the same ideology on football, maybe even inspire each other in ways. You could say similar with Klopp. That's what they spoke about, right? When they brought in Ralf Rangnick, the father of Tuchel and Klopp. Didn't go that way on the football pitch, but again, to mirror them up as DOF and manager, it might actually not be the worst thing. So I can get where you're coming from. He has just taken that job at international duty, so maybe his hands are tired. He might be busy. You don't want a DOF that, for me, has other fingers in pies. Yeah, he's busy doing other things and he's not completely solely focused on what you're trying to do. The Edwards situation was always clear. That doesn't surprise me. He said he wanted a year out of football. We knew that when he left Liverpool, he wanted to take a break. So Chelsea tried to get involved there, but that was never really going to materialize. They tried to convince him to join early, but when he says he wants a break, he wants a break. It's as simple as that. And Paul Mitchell, Paul Mitchell's got that Premier League experience. Southampton, Tottenham, with Poch and those teams, building those teams there with some good recruitment. Southampton has some amazing recruitment. Ida Virold, they had such a great team under Poch and under Koeman as well. And it was really a team that, if you see when they all get to their ceiling, it could have easily been a top 6 team. Van Dijk, Lovren, Callum Chambers was part of that, Klein, Luke Shaw, Schneiderlin, Wanyama, Mane, Lallana, Lambert. Such a good team. So not a bad job. But yeah, I think that kind of stuff will move as we get closer to January. We'll start to hear more about DOFs for sure. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. But I'm more on the notion of, if you're going to get a DOF, has to be who the manager wants to work with. They're working together, so it has to be someone that Tuchel wants. But yeah, as we mentioned with Casemiro, unlikely, very unlikely, I think, but we'll see on that one. Besiktas are moving to sign Deli Ali from Everton, either on a loan or a permanent move. I was actually just looking at a Jose Mourinho clip. I don't know if you guys have seen it on Twitter. Jose Mourinho was speaking on Deli Ali, and he was talking about, this was in the All or Nothing, and he was talking about, you need to take your career to the next level. You need to understand yourself as to why there's such highs, MK Dons, Tottenham, England international, and then such lows, such dips. Is it motivation? Is it commitment? Is it diet? What is it? You need to sit with yourself and really start to understand what is going on in your career, because you're going to regret it. Such a fascinating clip to bring out now, because obviously he's on the downward. He really is one of the players that are falling from grace. If you were saying right now, what player is really disappointing you right now in terms of where they could have been and where they are, it's probably Dele Alli. He had 2 brilliant seasons in the Premier League that I can remember. He was absolutely tearing it up. And then now even Everton just looks lost. I saw him come on the other day. I just don't know what he offers. Playing that false 9 role doesn't really give you what you need. It's not an outlet. If you play him just behind the forward, is he giving you enough creativity? Is he giving you enough final ball? Has he really developed his game from that moment where we saw under Poch, the system was brilliant. Ericsson off the right, Kane, he was making those false 9 runs or those second striker runs in behind defenses, scoring goals, scoring headers. It was brilliant. But he never really seemed to develop his game from there. He never really started to take on the mantle of chance creation consistently and just being a bit more composed. So disappointing for him, but we'll see. He's only 26, but yeah, time flies, man. Nice also looking to bring in Ivory Coast winger Nicolas Pepe on loan from Arsenal, and also they still hope to sign Cavani on a free transfer, who's still available after leaving Manchester United. That's from L'Equipe. I think if Pepe goes to Lille, that will definitely free up some space for sure in that Arsenal side. I'm pretty sure they're going to look to bring in another attacker, another winger. We saw links to Rafinha way back when in the transfer window. So I thought Marquinhos might be involved, but it looks like he's going to be in the PL2 team. So yeah, you definitely, if you're Arsenal, if you're talking about really affirming yourselves depth-wise, you need another forward, probably another midfielder, and then you're pretty much sorted. So yeah, I think Nicolas Pepe, if he makes that move, then definitely expect Arsenal to start moving on another winger. So that's on that. And West Ham looking to put through a completed move for Keller from PSG, a German defender. They've got injuries at centre-back quite a bit. I think it's around about the 12 million euros that they're looking to complete that deal on. And also Emerson Palmieri, we saw that they were trying to go for him. 13 million bid rejected by Chelsea, according to Jacob Steinberg from The Guardian. But Chelsea want 15 million. I'm personally feeling like that's just unnecessary. It's only 2 million. But if we get the money, cool. But if they walk away, I'm going to be fuming. So yeah, West Ham looking at Emerson Palmieri as well at left back. because, again, they need more options there. So we saw links with Kostic earlier on in the window. He ended up going to Juventus. So that's basically everything there in terms of the news. I'm going to check out some of the comments before we come to a close, but it's been a solid one. Let's see. Snatch 13 million for Emerson. Are you crazy? I'm honestly, I don't know when his contract runs out, but I'm pretty sure there's not much left to go on it, because I don't remember the last time him ever signing a long-term deal at Chelsea. So it must be coming towards maybe even the final year. I think it may be. Take the money. 13 million, run. What are we doing here negotiating over 2 million? What if they change their mind? It's insane. Like, we have like 5 left backs. I don't get it. I really don't. We have like 5 left backs on the books. It's insane. So yeah, big up to this comment here, watching from Vancouver. It's 4:50 a.m. That is insane. The commitment, that is insane. Big up your damn self. Let's see some of these comments. If we were in Champions League, Ronaldo would be at Arsenal. I've seen a few of these comments about Arsenal and Ronaldo. I don't know where they've come from. I didn't see a report. But that is hilarious. Like, that would just be so weird. I can't lie. Ronaldo in the Arsenal kit. That's only something that could happen on FIFA. And I don't even think that could happen on FIFA. Unless you was like playing Ultimate Team or something. I don't know. I don't play FIFA. But that ain't happening even in career mode. I'm sure if that happens in career mode, then career mode is washed. You need to start making that thing more realistic. There's just no way. Yeah, that's nuts. All right. Let's see. Any more? Hudson-Odoi links to... I saw, Hudson-Odoi links to Arsenal again. That won't happen, in my opinion. That won't happen. Nothing to gain from Chelsea's standpoint. All right, so yeah. Don't see that happening. But listen, big up your damn selves. Make sure you smash up the likes on this one. Leave your comments down below of what you think and feel about these rumours that we've discussed. Some of these deals are getting closer. We are coming towards the end of the transfer market now. Deadline day, I think, is going to be absolute mayhem in this transfer window, because we're just seeing so many crazy targets that don't really even make any sense. But clubs are getting desperate. The season is upon us, and it's a big season for a lot of clubs. So, and we was even discussing it really on some streams yesterday. Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham. Whoever doesn't make top 4 out of them 3 teams are in big trouble. More than you can believe. Big trouble. And really, for London, I guess you would say that just if Liverpool didn't make it, that would just solve everybody's problems. But we'll see if they could pick up them points against Man United. We've got big games coming up. So make sure you smash up the like, subscribe to DR Sports, and I'll see you guys next time. In a bit, people. Peace.
The Premier League season is back, and each and every week, don't forget to check out the best of enemies with me, Robbie, and that...
And that what, blood? You know them way there, blood? Nah, Mr. Genetically jacked, athletically stacked, half man, half amazing, modern day man, expressions oozing. And I can't wait to watch all the football content, the Champions League streams on DR Sports with Tottenham. You know them way there.
You ain't gonna win the trophy, let's be real.
What do you mean? Listen, we're definitely winning the trophy, blood.
What?
Tottenham are winning a trophy this season. And why would I take football advice from you, blood? I'd rather take advice from hair products than football advice.
What trophy are you gonna win?
Huh?
What trophy are you going to win?
We won one already, fam. The Walter Towel Cup, blood. You get me, fam? And now we want the FA Cup, we want the Carabao, we want the Premier League, fam. I want to see my team playing in the Charity Shield. I'm excited, fam. Are you excited?
I'm very excited. So don't forget to check out the best of enemies each and every week right here on DR Sports. Listen, you might not win a trophy, but you can have a ball.
This guy, at least I can see my balls, unlike certain man.
The Premier League.